We are live. Hello, hello, everyone watching from home. I'm Amy, and I am joined today by Magnus from the channel Detmar on YouTube. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Well, that got started on the on the right foot. How are you? How are you going? Where are you? Who are you? Introduce yourself, everyone.
Okay, yeah, I'm super good. I'm super excited about this to do a live stream with one of my favorite YouTubers out there. So I'm super excited about this. Right now, I'm in Shanghai in the Laowai district, Jing'an, central of Jing'an. So it's about 2 blocks from Wuding Road,
Yeah.
which people that have been in Shanghai absolutely know. It's the bar street, it's the restaurant street where all the foreigners go.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's Saturday night. It's a little bit raining outside, but more than that, I'm super happy to do this.
Yay! Oh, cool. I didn't know that you were living in Jing'an. There's a really good bagel place on Wuding Road that that I go to whenever I'm in Shanghai.
Yeah,
Anyway, great area, great area. So you are in Shanghai right now. Where are you originally from? Because I'm sure some people can maybe hear an accent there.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm born and raised in Sweden, and that's why I have somewhat of a Swinglish, I would say. I've lived abroad for some parts of my life. I've lived in the U.S., I've lived in Mexico, in Colombia, I lived in China 3 times. I've lived
Wow.
in Denmark, so I've been all over the place. The last 3 years I've lived here in Shanghai, though, so my Shanghainese dialect is getting there.
Oh, so you can speak some Shanghainese? Can you give us?
Yeah. Don't get me there. I was just kidding. No, I know a little
Oh,
bit. I know the Nong Le Tsusa and Vechivolova that they say all the time. It's basically like, how are
yeah.
you? And have you been
Have you
eating?
eaten?
Yeah.
I know that too. Nongfei chukova. I think I'm pronouncing it really awfully, but it's a essential item. Nonghao. Is that Shanghainese? No.
Yeah, yeah, know how. Yeah, yeah,
Nonghao.
absolutely.
Or is
And
it?
they say aya, aya all the time.
Yeah, I remember when I used to live in Shanghai, that was the first place I lived in China. I developed, well, my Chinese was awful back then, but I did develop a slight Shanghainese accent. And whenever I would say xie xie, I would always like to say xie 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 xie, and kind of try to be all cutesy in Shanghai accent. But then I studied and lived in Beijing for a couple of years, and all that cuteness is gone. And now it's been replaced by a very hard Huayin. I don't know if you're
Yeah,
familiar with Beijing accent.
absolutely. The pirate dialect, right? The R,
I
R.
am a pirate. I am a blonde pirate these days.
Yeah. No, but
But
it's funny to hear that because I like my Chinese is not so good. I've done HSK 3. I studied like from back and forth a little bit, and I tried to get into it. And especially now when I've been traveling a lot, I've learned so much Chinese just by traveling. And for you guys that don't live in China, if you want to learn Chinese, go to China and just travel around for like half a year. You will learn so much Chinese. But then, since I've been working with a lot of Shanghainese, I start to like pick up what they're saying. And one Shanghainese colleague that was sitting next to me, she only like spoke Shanghainese to me. So after some time, I can't speak it, but I understand a lot.
that's awesome. I always say the best way to learn is just by getting into it, and traveling is the best. Like we were
Yeah,
just
yeah.
talking before we went live about how recently you've been doing more travel within China, right? Like, can you go over some of the places that you've been to? And I don't know, do you have any funny stories from the last few months?
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, I was outside of China during the Corona. When it all started, I was in Zurich, Switzerland. But then I got in right before the border closed, and since then I've been in China. So since like mid-March, I've been here. And
Wow, we
in
would
the
have been
beginning,
very close to each other, actually. Sorry to interrupt you, but for March and most of February, I was in Germany in a town called Ingolstadt, which is only a 2 or 3 hour drive from Zurich. So we would have
oh,
been
okay,
close to each other
we were
at that
super
point.
close then.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, the I work for a Swiss wealth management firm as a contractor, and I was gonna fly there and just have a presentation and then go back basically. But
Yeah.
then my flight got canceled back, so I ended up staying in Zurich, which is one of the most expensive cities in the world. It was tough times, but it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot, and when they were about to close the border, I got back to China, and since then I've been here, and I've been enjoying it so much. I freaking love this country more and more. I've lived there now for 3 years this time, but also since. And we talked about that a little bit before we started this live stream, that before, when it was like Chinese New Year or Golden Week, most of the people, they travel abroad. They go to like Southeast Asia, or they go back home to Europe or stuff like that. And I did exactly the same. But this year, like when you're here and you're stuck, you really have to do like the most out of it. So
Yeah.
I've been down to Sanya 3 times already.
Why you're so tanned? I was wondering, how are you so tanned?
No, now I'm super white. No, but the
You're making me
I
look like
freaking
a
love that.
ghost, Magnus. I look like a ghost compared to you.
But it's winter in Australia, no?
Yes, although it was very lovely today. It was 23 degrees. It's warming up.
Okay.
Where
Yeah.
actually spring is just 1 or 2 days away. So anyway, back to you.
Okay.
Continue with
Yeah.
the story. You've been
No,
traveling.
but I like, since we were here during the summer, I wanted to like, I usually go back into Europe during the summer and enjoy, especially Sweden. And this year, like, you're stuck here in Shanghai, and I love this city, but during the summer, it's like 40 degrees, it's super humid. You can go to pools and stuff like that, but it's not like you want to get out to the ocean or something like that. I come from a small little fishing town just by the ocean in Sweden, so I want to see the ocean. I'm spoiled with that.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's go down to Sanya, and no one was traveling. Like, it's not expensive at all. So I've been traveling back and forth, taking long weekends, and then we took a week and been staying at super fancy hotel for no money at all. So I've been
Great.
loving it. Yeah, because we went to, like, I've done some video for some hotels, and also some of the hotels, like, they don't bring people now because they're still like, Chinese are still a little bit afraid of traveling. Well, we the foreigners are just stupid to go. We don't care, and that's why I'm enjoying it so much to go down there and really see Sanya, because the first time, or see Hainan, because the first time I went there was 2.5 years ago during Christmas with my family, and I had a terrible experience of Sanya at that time. Terrible, because we went down, and my parents and my brother came here to Shanghai. We spent a few days here. Then we traveled down to Sanya, and we stayed at this hotel. That was nice, but it was very Chinese. And like, my family, they like Chinese food, but not for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a week. That's like a little bit too much. And when you got down to like the street, there were people singing, dancing, making a lot of noise and everything from like 7 in the morning to 11 at night every day. And we were there.
Sounds wonderful. Like, I'm here like, oh man, I want a piece of that cake. Like, Chinese 24/7 breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and singing and dancing and loud, and oh man, it's so quiet here.
Yeah, I know. I mean, for you that really into it, I mean, it's a perfect thing. But for my family, and I was like, I wanted to show them, like, I don't know, the nice China. And when you get there and it's only Chinese food all the time, my mother was like, I just want a glass of wine. It was so difficult to find. It was just,
you want to show your parents China.
Yeah, I know, but it's just ended up being a little bit weird, and my parents was like, it was nice to see. They always say that when they're a little bit disappointed, they're like, yeah, it was nice to see. And I was like, oh, come on, you traveled all the way from Sweden to that. So the first experience, I was only there for like 4 days, something like that, 5 days, and because of that, I kind of a bad experience of Sanya. But this time I got down there and I stayed at one of these fancy hotel complexes, and it was beautiful beaches, and it was super nice weather and everything. The first time we were there, it's not very nice weather either. So this, like, now I love it. I want to go there every weekend because it's so amazing. It's so much to see. You can go there surfing, you can go there snorkeling, you can do a lot of fun stuff there. So that's why I travel there for 3 times. I've been to Zhengjia, to the Avatar Mountains.
Very nice.
Which I made a little video about on my YouTube channel, Detmar. you told me to plug it.
Yes, no, please do. Everyone, the link for Detmar's channel is below, so please click on that and go visit his channel. You can see all his videos. One about the Avatar Mountains, I actually watched that one. That was really nice. I haven't been there myself yet, and it really annoys me. Two places I've never been is Yangshuo, like Guilin in and also the Avatar Mountains. And it's two places that a lot of tourists will come to China and they'll come and see. And it annoys me with how much travel I've done in China that there are people that come for like 1 week or 2 weeks that have been somewhere that I haven't. So I just need to go to those two places off the list. But yeah, it looks beautiful.
You have to come back soon.
I want to. There's a question here from the chat asking, when will Blondie plan to come back to China? I am going to come back as soon as I can. I was actually having a phone call with one of my best friends in Beijing this afternoon, and I don't think I'm going to be back until mid next year, the way that things are going with like border closures and stuff, but hopefully as soon as possible. There's a question for you here, and I'm actually interested to hear the answer. Have you noticed that there are less foreigners in China / in Shanghai since the borders were closed?
Absolutely. I've heard that it's like 20 to 30% of the foreigners are still here. So it's way less. And you can absolutely see that in like bars and restaurants. Like before, some places there were only foreigners, like only foreigners. Now it's majority, these restaurants are only Chinese. And when you go out to clubs and stuff like that, you meet the same people all the time. So yes, it's way less people, but people that are here try to make the most out of it, to enjoy it as much as they can. And hopefully, I've heard that they start to open the borders. Some friends of mine from Germany, they actually got visas now, so they can go back. But it's very unclear. But yes, it's very noticeable.
Interesting. But I totally cut you off before. So you've been to Avatar Mountains, and you were also saying that you went to Gansu province recently, which is one of my favorite provinces in China. I would love it if you could see
that do these different type of trips. And I went to the Silk Road. So I went to Gansu, and I went. Are you still with me?
I am. You seem to be frozen, or am I frozen? I'm unsure. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Are you still with me?
I am with you. Can you see me?
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can see you.
I guess it's a little bit of lag right now.
You're frozen.
I guess I'll just keep talking.
Keep talking. All good. Just, can you hear me?
Do you hear me?
I do hear you.
Because I don't hear you.
Okay. How about you try? I'm going to send you a text message. Let's, maybe you can. Okay, we have lost Magnus, but he did inform me that this could be a possibility. His internet has been suffering some problems recently, and he's on his phone. So he's going to be rejoining in just a second. But in the meantime, how about we answer some questions from the chat? It seems that I am still here. Everyone can hear us, but cannot see us. Oh, you're back.
No, I'm back. I don't know how long you heard from.
I only heard the bit that you were like, I went on one of those planned trips and you went to the Silk Road. So if you went to Gansu province, one of my favorite provinces in China. I have a lot of friends from Gansu province. So where did you go? What did you like? What food did you eat? Tell us everything.
We ate a lot of Chinese food. We ate what is it called? Jack, like the big animal. I don't know what it's called in English. So we ate that. We ate a lot of skewers. That's called like it's not chuan, right?
Chuan. You can call it chuar or chuan.
Okay. And we ate the noodles that you're better at this than me. The famous noodle from Jiangsu.
The soup noodles. Yeah. Exactly. I actually took my dad to eat those noodles yesterday. We made a video about it. So
really?
Yeah. He loved it. We actually got to go behind the scenes and go into the kitchen of the restaurant. And they have a chef here in Sydney that has been making these noodles for 40 years. So he was giving us some pointers. We failed miserably, but it's one of my favorite noodle dishes in China. Did you like it?
Yeah, I loved it. Like noodles, I can eat it all the time. I love noodles here. Cold, hot, like anything. I love it. It's amazing. I saw
Nice.
one of your videos when you tried to make noodles and they became super thick, right?
Yeah. It was such
That
a
was
fail.
amazing. I laughed so hard. It was so fun.
It was the biggest failure ever, but I still laugh about it. And yeah, it's so bad. I'm never going to try and make that kind again, but I am actually at the moment working on a new noodle recipe. I'm trying to perfect the byung byung noodle. I don't know if you've ever
What's
had
yum
byung
yum?
byung. Oh my goodness, so good. They're these noodles. They come from Shanxi province where Xi'an is. And they're also known as like belt noodles because they're like wide and flat. And they're like got chili oil on them and it's just super, super good. So I'll send you the name in Chinese and you can like Baidu it and then you can go find yourself some or go and like Waimai. Because you'll really, really like it. I haven't met anyone who doesn't like it. But anyway, I'm trying to improve my noodle making. Do you do any Chinese cooking or any cooking anyway? Do you cook?
Why do you ask that question?
I'm just wondering. I don't
I
know
don't
more
know
about
this,
you.
but I love cooking. I absolutely do that.
Ooh.
But since I got to China, I have not cooked like at all until I was locked in quarantine. And what you do, like what you do for fun, yeah, then you have a lot of times to do nothing, and that's why I
Yeah.
started to cook a lot of food. But to cook Chinese food, I've never done that. I've tried to do gongbao jiding back home a lot
Ooh.
because that's my absolutely favorite dish in China. But
Yep.
I don't think I think I'm better at eating Chinese food than cooking Chinese food. But I
Yeah.
love how you keep trying with it and you stuck with it. And you also, to be honest, like making simple stuff you make so interesting in your videos. I've been watching that one of the latest videos, I think, when you made the dumpling roses.
Yeah. They looked
I was
really
like,
pretty.
that's incredible.
It was super easy to make. The problem is with those is they didn't taste very good because when you fold these all up, it just becomes a whole heap of dough in the middle. So they look pretty. Not the most successful dumpling I've ever made, but like they were
Okay.
nice. They were okay. But yeah, I've been trying. I've been making the most of my time at home with a nice kitchen here. I'm living with my parents, so yeah, they've been enjoying some Chinese food that I've been cooking for them, and I'm always thinking about what my next recipe is going to be. And yeah, tomorrow I want to try and make sanbeiji, which is 3 cup chicken. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just expanding, trying new things, but yeah, it's
That's
fun.
super. But have you done like cooking classes before?
Look, I have like here and there done cooking classes. I've done like a dumpling class at some stage. I did that. I've done a couple of cooking classes, but I learned most of things from YouTube or from websites or like when I was younger, mum and I would always cook together and we would always cook. Well, I'd say 80% of the time we would be cooking some kind of Asian cuisine, whether that's Vietnamese, Japanese, Chinese, Malaysian. So I grew up with a very kind of Asian influence palette and I was always cooking that kind of stuff. But it's been really interesting this year to kind of not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not even close to good. Just to be trying some more traditional Chinese cooking techniques. So trying to make things at home as authentic as possible. But yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I mean, I so enjoy when you're doing it. You're doing it in a very fun way, and you're explaining it in a good way. And it's like
Yeah.
you really get inspired by your videos to actually start cooking. And I would love to do that, but like, yeah, I'm right now. I'm focusing on a lot of other things. So when I have time, I'm absolutely gonna follow your recipes and actually try to like copy video of you.
Oh, fantastic. I can't wait to see that video.
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to
And
watch it.
and also like what I have to ask you, so what is your favorite food then? Like, what is your favorite Chinese food?
I can't answer that question. I have too many. I can give you some things that I've been really loving at the moment. Oh, I can't even say what my favorite thing is. I love so many different foods. I recently became very enamored with Dongbei cuisine, so a lot of
Okay.
very rich and heavy wheat-based typed foods. That is been kind of my thing at the moment, but I really enjoy like the rice noodle breakfasts of the South. I really love the xiaolongbao, of course, of Shanghai. I love Chuancai or Sichuan food. It's
Yeah.
probably my favorite cuisine. I could go on a lot about this. It's probably better for me to ask you, what's your favorite food? What do you like eating?
To be honest, like yeah, Gongbao Jiding is my absolutely favorite, but that's like very like all foreigners like that, right? But what I like the most in China is the super cheap street food.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I've
like
been to super fancy Chinese restaurant. I've been eating a hot pot. I've been eating like the I don't know Beijing duck or stuff like that. Yes, it tastes good, no problems.
yeah.
But go out on the street and eat like fried dumplings or the what is it called, the jianbing in the morning, or some baozi from Family Mart. I mean, I love it so much. I
Yeah.
rather do that than to sit in a fancy restaurant and eat something that I'm like, yeah, a little bit slimy or something like that. The
Yeah,
cheap
there's a
Chinese
lot of
food is
character.
the best.
I agree with you, Magnus. Yeah, every time actually, it's a shame. It's a little bit of a shame. When I was first in China, in Shanghai, it was about 6 years ago. I was first there. There was a lot of street food, and right at the gates of my university, there were all these local vendors
Oh yeah,
selling
I love
everything from
it.
like stir-fried noodles to fried rice to dianbing to rojjiamo. Like it was everything, and I see a lot less of that these days. But you can still find kind of street food markets that are established and legal. And yeah, I love going there, and I love street
It's
food
so
so
good.
much.
And I don't want to tease you, but now after the whole Corona thing, um, the Shanghai government actually pushed for these street vendors to like start to do like street food again. So you can see them all over Shanghai. And like in every corner at night, you see someone making noodles or dumplings like that. And oh, I love it. I love it. It's super unhealthy, but I so love it. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And
We used
and
to,
sorry.
sorry, no, you keep going, you keep going.
No, and especially it's one at my last apartment. It was especially one guy that was standing out there selling noodles, and I was like, always like, okay, you want to try it because you never know, like, okay, will you feel bad after this or something like that? It's still street
Yeah.
food, right? But then I tried it, and I was like, this is the best noodles I've ever had. Maybe because it was super late and I was super hungry, blah blah blah. But I loved it. And
Yeah.
then I ate there for like about a month. Then he disappeared, and I was like, oh no, my like, that's what I lived off of. Then he came back, and you could see that his trolley was a little bit like damaged. He's like before he had some wheels on it. Now he didn't have wheels on it, and I was like, I tried to ask him in my bad Chinese, like, well, what happened? He's like, no, Mei Wen Ti, Mei Wen Ti. And I was like, okay. And then he lowered the price from 13 RMB to 12 RMB because his trolley was not as nice anymore. And I was like, come on, I would pay double this. I would have paid triple just to eat your noodles because everybody in this neighborhood loves what you're doing. And I tried
Yeah.
to make a video with him, and he's like always like super happy for me to come. And then I brought all of my friends that was living around there, like, come and eat at his place. And oh, that's the best noodle. But now I live far from it, so I can't really have it anymore. But those noodles, oh, if like you guys that watch this live stream, if you're going to China, try any street food that you find because oh, it's amazing.
I would like to add to that. Yes, it's good to be adventurous and to try things, but I got food poisoning so many times in my first year of China because I ate absolutely everything. I have
Okay.
now developed a list of things to avoid in order to not get sick. And I haven't had food poisoning in China for like 4 years. So I stay away from any meat that's been lying out. So avoid meat that you haven't seen being cooked right in front of you, and any meat that doesn't look particularly like fresh. Go to places that there are other people waiting at, like go somewhere that looks like it's popular and has a good kind of reputation. That's really important. There are a couple of others that I've forgotten. But yeah, go and try as much as you can, but be careful because
But you have actually had so much food poisoning because I haven't. That's the weird thing. I've been trying two times. I had food poisoning in China. The first time was when I studied in Beijing 10 years ago. It was right before the midterm exam. I went to the canteens late at night, uh, and I ate some, I don't know what they're called, but like huge meatballs. You know what they're called?
Huge meatballs. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay, well, so in the canteen, something like that,
Yeah.
at our school. And I was like, I was so hungry. It was one of the last thing that was there. I ate it. Day after, I didn't do the midterm exam. I was like, I'm not gonna go to school today because
Oh,
it was terrible. That was one time, and then one time when I was here in Shanghai, just
yeah.
eating some. I don't think it was like a random restaurant. It wasn't really a street food thing. It was just a random
Yeah.
restaurant where I tried some meat that you can feel is not super hot. It was not super fresh. And then the day after, I felt so. But more than that, like I've been totally in 4 years in China. I've been trying any food you can even think about, and I've only had it 2 times. So maybe I'm lucky. Maybe I should do that thing. But
I don't know. I think everyone has different like sensitivities. I think at the beginning my stomach was very weak. Also coupled with the fact that I didn't know what to look out for. But all I know is that in that first year I got food poisoning so much. And there was one trip that I did in my big mid-year break, like 3-month break where I was just traveling in China. I had 3 separate cases of food poisoning in one trip. Yeah, but since then I haven't had any because I've like I can't eat that, I can't eat that, I can't eat that. So
okay.
I have now some rules for myself, but I don't know whether I was unlucky. Maybe I just have a sensitive stomach, but I've been fine since then. My stomach seems to be fine now.
Perfect,
Whatever I eat.
perfect.
Yeah, I
Oh
you know,
no, I had to. Oh, sorry, I forgot one. Okay, three. I've been stomach sick 3 times. I don't know why are we talking about that? This is terrible. But okay, so I went to yeah, a couple of friends of mine was living in Hangzhou, and this was back in 2012, I think.
yeah,
Me and a couple of 3 friends went over there just to like see Hangzhou. Hangzhou, like we didn't know anything about Hangzhou. I've been living in Beijing. I've seen Shanghai, but Hangzhou was like I didn't know. I didn't know anything about it. So we travel there, all the way there. We meet this guy, Chinese guy, that came to our pre-party and brought like I've never seen such a huge bottle of whiskey because one of our friends is a tall blonde girl and he was in love with this girl. So he brought that, and then he saw we were drinking like Heineken at the pre-party, and then he told us like come to this and this club tonight. We're like okay, so we went there, and he filled the whole table with Heineken after that. And it was ridiculous. He was just like because he wanted to impress this girl. And there they had they had a fruit platter, and I was super hungry, so I was eating a lot of watermelon. I don't know if it was that. I have no idea because that was the only thing that I ate, and my friends didn't eat during that night. After that, I couldn't eat for 10 days. I couldn't eat one single thing for 10 days. I lost 10 kilos, and on me, that's quite a lot. And
God.
I don't know what it was, but it was something terrible, terrible, terrible. So the only thing I stay away from in China is actually watermelon.
Okay, that's a shame because oh my gosh, China does such good watermelon. Like,
Yeah.
that's such a shame. In the summer months when I was studying, they would just have so many watermelons at the canteen, like mountains of watermelon, and you can just get it as like a dessert. It was so amazing. But
Yeah, and I love it. I still love it. And sometimes I eat a little bit, but I always like, oh,
I can
hope I don't
understand.
get sick, hope I don't get sick. But
Yeah.
anyways, I wanted to roll it back a little bit, and I want to hear more about you. Like, how did you get to China from the beginning? Why did you get to China? Why did you stay in China? Why do you want to come back to China? I want to know everything.
Well, I want to know the same thing about you. So thank you for bringing us back to our main topic today, which is talking about how we ended up coming to China and pursued life in China. So, oh my gosh, where do I start? I'll start by acknowledging first a super chat we got sent. He's saying what's Truman's World. Thank you so much for your super chat. I'm not sure what this comment means, but okay, now I can answer the question. Okay, what was that? So why did I come to China? I originally came to China as an exchange student. My interest with China started actually with a history teacher I had at high school, she was really passionate about Chinese modern history, and that passion was infectious. And so I ended up going and doing a lot of my own research about China and history. I've always been a bit of a history nerd, so I was really fascinated by that. And so I decided to choose Chinese as a major when I went to university. And then that led me to start studying Chinese. I went to China as an exchange student. And then my decision to actually pursue China more seriously kind of came a few years later. I was working at a bank, and it was with the job that I thought that I wanted, and the job I felt like I was being conditioned towards, like, corporate career, get good marks at school, go to uni, go into a big corporate, make money, and, be successful. And so I was kind of on track to getting everything I thought I wanted. And it was an amazing opportunity. And, I'm not saying that job isn't a good job. I'm saying it just wasn't right for me. So I was kind of reassessing, what I wanted out of life and what I enjoyed and what I loved. And when I looked at it on paper, I literally wrote a list down, like, what do I love? What do I not love? I love travel. I love meeting new people. I love speaking Chinese. I love eating. I like discovering new things. I like being creative. I like performing. So I kind of ended up coming to China. I had a scholarship up my pocket, can I say, from a competition I had done a few years previously. And I was like, yep, let's go, let's do it. Let's see what China has got in store for me. And I kind of...
When was this?
This was 2017. So I went to Beijing to study a year of intensive Chinese language course, which was the best decision I ever made. It kind of like got me out of the cycle of life in Australia and kind of put me in a new environment where I felt like I could start fresh and just think about what I wanted. But that's how I originally got to China. That's kind of the abbreviated version of like how that kind of path came to be. But yeah, how about you? Like, how did it work out for you? Why did you get into China, come to China? Why did you study in China?
Yeah, it's kind of a similar story, to be honest. We when I studied at high school, we had these trip where you can either go to the US or you can go to China. And a friend of mine, she's Swedish Chinese, and she was like, I'm going to go to China on this trip. It will be a lot of fun. You want to join? And I was like, okay, I've never been to China. I've never been to Asia. I was like, China seems amazing. Let's go. So I traveled there, and we went to Hong Kong, Shanghai, and Beijing. And it was so much fun. It was so much fun. We got to see like skyscrapers that reached the freaking moon. We could see so many people. We could see people with these face masks. We could see like crazy stuff happening. And for me, like, now it sounds ridiculous, but I come from like a small fishing town outside of a bigger city, and we're 4,000 people in that city. So coming from that, and suddenly you see like one building have more than your hometown. I was like, this is amazing. Like, I didn't know Asia was like this. I thought it was like old and traditional and small little curvy houses. That's what I thought about Asia. So I was like, okay, this is amazing. I got to do something here sometime.
Yeah.
So I finished high school and traveled around in the world. As I said before, that I lived in Mexico, Colombia, and then I was like, okay, let's try China also. So I just bought a one-way ticket from. I was living in Colombia. I couldn't get a Chinese visa from Colombia, so I had to travel back home. Was home for 3 days. Then I got a visa to China, and then I went there. And I remember I landed in Beijing, and I was like, okay, what now? Because I had no plans. I was like, okay, let's just do something in China. I didn't know what to do.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, what do I do now? First I had to have somewhere to live. So I found an American guy that had an extra room in his apartment. I was like, okay, let's go up there. And he's like, yeah, there's a university down there. Maybe you should apply for like Chinese studies. I was like, for me, Chinese was like, you cannot learn Chinese. Chinese is way too difficult for any Swede to learn. So I was like, well, okay, let's try it. Like, I have to do something, right? So I went down there, and it was just about like 2 weeks before the semester actually started. So I was like, okay, I'll just sign up. And you started like a couple of weeks later. And then he was like, so like, do you make any money? Stuff like, I didn't take any student loan. It's like, I was like, no, I work back home in Sweden, but yeah, I don't really know what to do. And he's like, well, I work at this school. Do you want to work as an English teacher? Like, and my English, like, now it's bad. Back then it was terrible. And I was like, okay, let's do it. I mean, most people think I'm like 25 now. When I was 20, I looked like I was 12 years old. So I went to that school, and everybody's like, really, you're gonna be a teacher? I looked younger than the students. So I went there. I worked as an English teacher. I bought a couple of glasses, fake glasses. I don't wear glasses. I know on my YouTube little thumbnail, I sometimes have glasses, but I don't wear glasses. Anyways, so I wear those just to look older. And I lived there, just enjoyed Beijing so freaking much. I was hanging out with a lot of Mexicans because I lived in Mexico before. And I was like, this is amazing. I spent half a year in Beijing at Beijing RY Daxue. It's Beijing International Studies University. It's like at Batong line. It's far, far out.
Yeah.
And I spent there half a year, and then I got back from China to do my university degree back home in Sweden. And I did a change semester in Beijing after that, but I was always wanted to go back and do like business or something with China. Then I did exactly the same thing as you did, like started the corporate route. I started at Deloitte as an auditor, which is the least sexy job you can get. And then management consulting, and I was doing great in many people's eyes. Like I have an apartment in Stockholm, girlfriend, good job, everything like that. But I was not satisfied. Yeah. I felt like every day was just one day where I lose my life every day. And I was like, how can I be so successful in a lot of people's eyes?
Yeah.
But I don't like it at all. I just want to leave this as quick as possible. So after 3 years, I asked my manager, like, can you move me to China? Because I wanted to go to China for some reason, just to experience that feeling I had when I lived here, like back in after high school. And they're like, yeah, you have to wait 2 more years. You have to do like a secondment, which is like 3 months in China. You work as an intern, basically. I was like, okay, I don't want to do that. So I just quit, bought a one-way ticket, was so close to selling my apartment, which I didn't do. But I just went here and I was like, I'll figure this out. I'll figure it out before. I'll figure this out. And I got here and I knew 2 people. And it was one of my friends that had an extra room in his apartment. So he's like, you can stay here for a couple of months. I stayed there for 1.5 years. And then my other friend, she has a fashion brand here in Shanghai. And then it was just like, okay, what do I do now? Same situation. Like, so I started a company, started to do like consultancy work for Swedish firms, stuff like that. And I've been doing like consultancy work for a lot of different companies since I got here. I started to sell my own watches for some time. I sold clothing. That's basically how I got here from the beginning.
Yeah. And so what is it that you're doing right now? You said you're working for a wealth firm in...
I work for a wealth management firm, a Swiss one, that's doing a blockchain project. So those were old clients of mine when I worked for a blockchain company. Yeah. So I quit that, I quit my blockchain company, started to work for them as a freelancer. That's why I was in Zurich. Yeah. But now when I got back, I've been working for them as on contract basis. But actually 2 weeks ago, I started a new job. So I actually work in a logistic company now, and we're trying to launch foreign brands in China. Yeah. So that's what I do now. Only for 2 weeks, and I try to keep up YouTube as much as freaking possible, because my goal is, of course, to live off of this. But I'm not as big and famous as you are yet.
I'm really nothing. I just really love chatting and making new friends like yourself. But if it does help, everyone who's watching this live stream, please go over and follow my channel. Let's make a difference. Talking of making a difference, I just had something that I wanted to have a little moment to say. Firstly, like, if you have I guess we are both examples of people who have the means to actually follow their passions and to change a job that we don't necessarily love to do, to follow something that we do want to try and do. But that's a risk in doing that, because there are a lot of people in the world that don't have the the luxury of doing that. They have families to support. They have, they can't just drop their work and go and do what they want to do. I've recently found out about a charity and that I'm really passionate about supporting and trying to get the word out as much as possible. So I hope you don't mind, Detmar. I'm just going to do a little bit of a plug for this charity.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's called Educating Girls of Rural China. And so it's a charity that is helping women, girls, specifically in Northwest China, in poor communities, to have a chance at education. And there are some people that might ask, well, why focus on the women? Why not focus on the boys? Why not, do both? The fact is, in a lot of these rural communities, a lot of the opportunities for education and growth and advancement will be given to the son rather than the daughter. So this charity is actually giving money to these women to pursue education and make money for their families and to pursue things that they are interested in. So I've actually put the link below. I would love it if, there are 500 people watching this stream right now. If everyone was to donate $1, $2 each, we could make almost $1,000 tonight for this charity. There are 800 girls in this program right now that need tuition for their semester starting in September, which is a couple of days away. So literally right now, we can make a difference in a girl's life in China that may not have the opportunity to get that education. So sorry for this little interruption, but I hope that this can make some.
That's super good. Say one more time. What was the name of it?
The name is called Educating Girls of Rural China, and I've got the link just below in the description of my YouTube channel of this live stream. So yeah, let's see what we can do. But
come on, guys, go in and give money to this really good purpose. Do it now, and if you do it, I will also throw in money, so we double it. Okay.
Awesome, let's do it.
That's amazing.
2 blondies in China. I just got a little comment being like 2 blondies in one stream. Love it. Loving the blonde energy.
Guy. Oh, I know Snarky Guy. We have been texting.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Another one of our YouTuber friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
that was super good. I love those initiatives. So go in and check that out. The link in the description. Go and check that out. I'll spread it. I'll put it on my videos as well, so you can see that in the future as well.
Oh, my heart is so large right now. I've just seen this beautiful comment here saying that he's going to donate 100 Australian dollars straight away. Thank you so much. That is so, so kind and generous of you. You've literally directly made a difference. Thank you. Oh, that's not that's a donation to me, but I will pass that on to Educating Girls of Rural China after this stream. Every super chat that I get tonight, I will donate straight into Educating Girls of Rural China. So anything that's coming at me will be going straight towards them. But thank you guys so much for allowing me that moment to plug something that I'm feeling really passionate about. But yeah, let's get back onto our main topic. And I'm very interested hearing your stories about going from, your position where you were feeling, what you felt like you should be doing. You're in this corporate career, you're on the track. What was the moment that you decided, I just need to get out of here? Like, why, and what did that feel like for you?
It was I remember the day when I decided to quit and just move, because this will sound like an extreme story, but back in 2000, it must be 2017, in February or March, I think it was March 5th or something like that. I was sailing across the Bermuda Triangle, and with my father and 2 of his friends, and we hit a storm. And I mean, I've sailed in Croatia for like the yacht week. I've done those type of like fancy type of sailing. I've never done any rough sailing like that. And when I went there, my imagination was like, I was going to be in the front of the boat with a margarita and suntan. Like, that was my imagination. And then 2 days into that trip, we hit a storm. It was 10 meters waves. Our compasses were like spinning. It was chaos. I didn't sleep for a week. And I remember one night when I was sitting out there just thinking like, okay, we wouldn't die, but like I played around with the thought like, okay, if I die today, would I be happy with everything? Would I be satisfied with my life so far? And by that time, it was no. It was absolutely no. And that's when I decided, like, okay, when I get home from this trip, I'll go to my boss and say, I love this job. This is a great opportunity for me, but it's not for me right now. And I did that when I got back home, and say, like, I have to do this for myself right now, and I want to do something crazy with my life for a few more years, because yes, now I'm 31. Yes, in a lot of eyes, it's old, but also like in the whole life, from you're born to you die, you can do so many things, like, and for every year you can do less and less things, and the older you get, the more attachment you get, like you get a partner, you get an apartment, you get a job, you get a car, everything, and that really like holds you down. Those are great things, but I felt that for everything that I got, that hold me down. And sometimes you just have to like drag them all out and just do whatever you want in your life, because it's so easy to take the comfortable route.
100%.
And for those people that are afraid that you will fail, that you will miss home, that you won't find any friends or stuff like that, you can always go home. Whatever you're doing, you can always get the thing that you have now to go back home. Like that's the thing. And my motto right now, and it's been that for the last few years, is like, either you succeed or it become a great story. Like those are the two alternatives you have. So you only have win-win in life. So if you go by that motto, you will always win. So if you go here, if you want to travel abroad, if you want to try something totally new, either you try it and you totally suck at it, you fail miserably, and then you have to go home. But then you will always tell your friend, I failed, but at least I tried it. And that's 100%. Why I like now. Like so many things, I failed at so many things in my life, but at least I tried it. And I understand, like, okay, I failed it because I didn't try hard enough, or I'm not good at it. Okay, perfect. Then I don't have to do that anymore. Because like life is so short. For like the older you get, I think that the minutes get shorter, the seconds get shorter, and suddenly you lay there on your deathbed and you're looking back on your life. And at that moment, you want to think like, okay, I tried it all. Maybe I didn't succeed. Maybe I didn't was so successful, but I tried whatever I wanted to do. That's the feeling I want to have when I lay on my deathbed, and hopefully it will be in many years. Who knows? But that's what you have to think when you're laying on your deathbed and you're looking back in your life. And I know it's cliche, like, what life do you want to have? And go for that, because whoever one is successful in life, whoever one is the Jeff Bezos or I don't know, Sarah Larson or I don't know, Michael Jordan. Those people also were there small and thinking about that dream life, but they took the action to do it. Those people that are not there, they didn't do it. So that's the only difference.
Such that was beautiful, very beautiful, wise words. And I'm sure you've touched a lot of people at home that may be watching this on a bit of a midlife crisis, or in the brink of choosing a university degree or going into the workforce. If you do have the luxury of choosing what you want to do with your life, take it with both hands, because as I mentioned earlier, there are people in this world, there are so many people in this world who can't afford to do so. And I am on the brink of tears right now, because I'm just seeing all of these incredible super chats coming through that are going to be going straight to Educating Girls of Rural China. First things first, thank you so much, Jason, for your amazing, amazing donation. You are the best. Thank you so much, Ali, for your donation. Thank you so much, 50 Australian dollars. You are incredible. And we've got one from Snarky Guy. Thank you so much for supporting this, guys. I've got another one here from Long. I've got another one from Huang Tua. I hope I'm saying that correctly. This is absolutely incredible, guys. We have raised already over $300 for this charity. So
God.
This is so great. So all of this, I'm going, this stream is over, I'll be putting straight into Educating Girls of Rural China. So you can donate below in the link in my video description, or you can send me a super chat here. But thank you again so much for that, everyone who's watching this and donating. I'm literally about to cry, especially after also hearing your really inspirational words about how you just need to do what you want to do. And I think I had that realization when I was in China, and I was I had gone there. I had left my comfort zone in Australia. I'd left this job that was going to provide me like this very stable future, and I kind of got there, and I was like, oh, I feel uncomfortable taking this risk. I'm also by nature a very risk averse person. And I remember thinking, well, at the end of the day, if this all goes completely sour, if I fail spectacularly, I've already come here. I'm learning Chinese. This year will not be wasted. So, some advice I would give to people that are looking to make a bit of a change in their life is maybe go for something that. Sorry, I've just been really distracted by a huge donation that's just come through. Thank you so.
Oh my God, Bruno! I love you, Bruno. We've been texting as well.
Yeah.
Big thumbs up.
Holy guacamole. Thank you, Kat. Anyway, I can't remember what I was saying, but at the end of the day, you can always go home and you can always start again. So the advice that I have for people that are considering doing something a little bit different is to maybe enroll in a language course or do a master's or kind of do something that allows you to be in a new environment and meet new people, but at the same time, you're actively accomplishing something. So you're not going to be feeling any sense of like, oh, I'm wasting time, or, you know, what if this all goes wrong? At the end of the day, even if nothing came out of that trip to China other than a year of intensive language courses, that's already a skill that can help me in life. So I would recommend anyone go to China and do an intensive language course, because at the end of the day, yeah.
Absolutely. And you find so many opportunities when you get here also. And don't be afraid of just go, like leave and do it for some time. It doesn't have to be the rest of your life. Say 1 month, 2 months. If it doesn't work, just go back home. And that's like, we are so privileged in this world. Like you and me and a lot of people that probably watch this live stream, we're so privileged. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Like if they kick me out of this country, or if I have to go home, I work at a job in Stockholm and I have an apartment. I have loving parents. Like, how bad is it? It's a great freaking, it's a life that people would kill for. So if you have that, go and like try those things that you really want, because there's so many people that can't do it. There's so many people that would love to have that opportunity that you that's watching this live stream has, but they don't. So try and do it for everyone else than just for yourself. Probably.
Yeah, exactly. Such wise words. I want to know, what is the future looking like for you? What do you want to achieve in the rest of your time in China? Do you plan to settle down there? Like, how do you want to develop professionally? What's your plan?
My plan right now is I want to learn more Chinese. I want to develop, more in this work I just got into. I have been very interested in logistics. I know it sounds a little bit boring, but it's really cool to like, we don't only do logistics, we put foreign brands and we place them in China and we try to make it big with those brands here, which I think it's super cool. I've only worked with services before, and now finally I work with actual physical products, which I think is super cool.
Can I ask a question? What's the biggest lesson that you've learned from that? Because I'd be really intrigued, because I guess a lot of Western companies come into China and they feel like, oh, they will be successful. I guess it's a very different culture. What have you learned in this process in terms of what a Western company should or shouldn't do when they want to approach getting into the Chinese market?
It's absolutely, first of all, localize. Localize. Don't do like you do back home. You have to localize. Second of all, China is a really expensive market to get into. People think like, oh, I'll throw out my product and I have 1.3 billion people that will buy it. And if I just get one, I hear that every day when I talk to people. So many people email me regarding business in China. If I only get 1% of the market, I will become a billionaire. Well, everybody in this country think like that. And China is, when it comes to selling stuff, it's the most brutal and fierce market that you can get into, because Taobao, with my phone here, I can take a picture of the computer, I can click buy, and I have it tomorrow. Any product in the world, I can get it cheaper, faster, probably better than any else products in the rest of the world. I can get directly through my phone. So the question I always ask the people that reach out to me, okay, your product, why should anyone buy your product when they can get a cheaper, better, faster, stronger, whatever product here in China? Why would you do that? And then usually most 90% leave directly, because it's all about branding in this country. If you can create a brand in this country, you can make hell of a lot of money, but
Interesting.
it's very expensive, and
Yeah.
you have to localize.
And heaps of advertising, right? I'm always seeing advertising into my face when I'm in China, in the elevators, in the malls, in the back of taxis. Like everyone is. It seems like such a competitive market to get your brand out there.
Yeah.
I imagine it would be so
And
hard.
it's the most fierce market, and that's why you always have to, like, okay, what do I want to do here? Do I just want to test the market? It will probably not be successful. Like, Chili's, like the American restaurant, right? They
Yeah.
failed miserably here in China. They failed totally. Subway was also a big failure because they didn't localize in the beginning. But when they localize and when they change the menu, when they make it more playful, when they make it more China style, then you can be super successful here. And there are a lot of Western brands. Just look at like Starbucks. Like, they have really understand this market, and it's freaking huge. They increased the cup of coffees from like 0.5 to like 3 cups per person in like 10 years. It's incredible what they have done to this market.
And technology as well. Like, you can't be a brand going in. You have to also make an app and make sure that people are interacting with you online. Like, I know Starbucks has this reward system. I think it's probably all around the world, but I know so many people that are always using this app when they buy their Starbucks. Like, you have to, I guess, understand the local market so well, and as well into technology. I guess there's so many apps and phones, and in WeChat, it's all, it's a headache.
And that's the thing, like, everything is online here. People have to think about that, like, everything is online. So for example, like IKEA just opened just next door to me here, city store. Like, usually IKEA is huge. They're out in the middle of nowhere, and you go there for half a day. But this one, they opened like in the heart of Jing'an. And they understood that, okay, we have to be closer to the people, because they don't want to travel half the day to go out there. They want to do it there. And everything is through an app. You can basically buy everything like you want on IKEA, but you buy it through an app. And that's how the Chinese want it. They're so, like, Chinese, especially Shanghainese, they're so spoiled because they get anything within like an hour. And when you have that spoiled consumer, you have to be like really smart to figure out how you can tease them. How can you make them want to buy your thing? And that's one of the products that we work with, is like a water product. I won't plug it now, but it's a water, and our brand was sponsored by a football team here or we sponsored a football team here, and it was a competitive a competitor to them that was sponsored by another water brand. So what we thought about, both us and the other football team, was like, okay, let's make this like a war online, where we are the red team and they are the blue team. So they had a blue water bottle and we had a red water bottle. And then we created this big buzz, like red against blue. And it became viral just because it was like a fun, playful thing. And like in Western media, it will be ridiculous. But here it works. Here it's like playful. It's fun. It's a little bit, I would say, a little bit more childish, but in a very playful and cool way. So I could speak forever on this topic. I'm very passionate about it. I read a lot about it. I talk a lot about it. But maybe we'll do another live stream about this.
I think it's super fascinating. And I guess it just plays into the cultural differences as well. Like, what advertisements will work here in Australia are going to completely flop in China, and understanding the local market, as you said, is key. And I had a similar experience when I started getting into Chinese social media. I was quite naive when I got into it. I went there thinking, even if I have 0.01% of the population watching my channel, I'll have 1 million followers. Like, I did the exact thing that brands come to you saying. But then I realized, in order to have anyone who has any interest in you, you can't just be some foreigner on Chinese social media speaking Chinese. Like, that's so being done already. You need to understand the local market. You need to know what celebrities are cool right now. You need to know the songs. You need to be able to relate to pop culture references. So that was a huge learning curve for me. And I feel like that is kind of what you're talking about, because I guess when it comes to social media, you're essentially marketing yourself. But I
Yeah.
just wanted to just highlight a couple of super chats that have come through in the last few minutes. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. There was an absolutely massive one that came through. All of this, guys, by the way, is going directly into educating girls of rural China. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
We love it. We love it.
Whoa,
Thank you so
check
much.
this out.
Oh my God.
2,440 yen. I'm not sure what the exchange rate for that is, but thank you so much for your generosity. It looks like a lot. It's going straight into educating girls of rural China. But please continue on what you were saying.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask. I wrote a quick this or that questions that I just want you to throw out the answer.
Yeah.
And the first one, yeah, it's 8 questions because 8 is luck here in China. So yeah, I'll just throw out the question and you say this or that. Okay.
I love this game.
Okay, Baozi or Jiaozi?
Buds. Oh fuck. Oh, I almost. Oh my gosh, this is a really. Oh. 饺子.
Okay, Beijing or Shanghai?
Shanghai.
Okay, Putonghua or Beijing Hua?
普通话。普通话就是北京话。
Okay, Tai Chi or ping pong?
Oh, ping pong?
Okay. Chopsticks or fork or knife? A knife.
Chopsticks.
Okay. Dabao or Hongbao?
Dabao.
Sherpas or Ulema?
Ulema.
Okay. Didi or Tuk Tuk?
Didi.
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh, cool.
That
Can
was
I
some
give
great
you some?
questions. And then, yeah. Sorry, I have another game because I see we're hitting like 8 o'clock now, so maybe we should round this up. But I have another little game, or it's not a game, it's just a few questions that I wanted to ask you. And the whole theme about this is how Chinese are you?
Oh, I love this game. Oh.
Okay. So
Cool.
okay, so the first question, we just jump into it. It's pretty similar to the other ones, but okay. Do you use Chinese chopsticks when you eat other things than Chinese food?
No.
Okay. Do you drink hot water?
Yes.
Okay. Do you like bubble tea more than coffee?
No.
Okay. Do you sleep after lunch?
No.
Okay. Do you always hold a peace sign when you're taking pictures with strangers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you accidentally say "way" when you're answering the phone?
Yes, all the time.
Do you still think it looks weird when people wear face masks?
No.
Okay. Do you get more excited when you know that you're gonna eat hot pot than pasta?
Yes.
Okay. Do you call cleaning ladies ayis?
Yes, of course.
Okay. You probably got like 7 points out of 10.
Oh, not as Chinese as I thought. Oh, I'll work on that. How did you go on the same quiz?
I would say like I actually use chopsticks quite a lot, even for Western food.
Yeah.
I do not drink hot water unless someone serves it to me. Bubble tea, it's not my thing. It's I drink coffee like crazy. I love coffee. If I could sleep after lunch, hell yeah, I would sleep after lunch, but I can't.
I can't. I cannot nap. Since I was a baby, I only sleep at night. That is the time when I'm supposed to sleep, so I can't sleep during the day.
I could absolutely, if I had a bed, I would absolutely sleep after. I cannot sleep in the office because it feels weird, but absolutely I could sleep. Okay, taking, do you always hold peace sign when you're taking photos with stranger? Yes. Do you accidentally say "way" when you answer the phone? Yeah, I have actually, if someone is calling and I don't know the number, yes, I answer with "way." And do you think it still look weird with face marks? Actually, no. do you get more excited when you know you're gonna eat hot pot rather than pasta? I don't eat very much hot pot, especially not now
Hot pot,
during the summer.
hot pot is a weird example because hot pot I'm either really in the mood for or really not in the mood for, depending on like what I've eaten earlier that day. I would like to ask you a follow-up question. Would you get more
Okay.
excited about eating Chinese noodles or pasta? Let's say Lanzhou Lamian, the ones that you just had in Gansu province, those noodles.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I will go for those. Absolutely. All those noodles. Absolutely.
Nice.
And then yeah, do you call it? I don't know why I said that. It's just like IE is such a fun thing here in China, so that's why I just put that one in as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So
Cool.
how many donation did we have now in the end?
Well, I don't know the exact number, but we have one more that just came through from Kevin Dragon. Thank you so much. I think we've made at least over 300 American dollars.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I'm pretty sure, but it's hard to know with the exchange rates. I don't know what the exchange rate is for a yen. But I think we've made quite a lot, and that's going to go straight to Educating Girls of Rural China. So anyone who is watching this after the live stream is finished, if you would like to donate, and I would encourage everyone, even if you can just spare 50 cents to donate, the link is in the video description below. I'm speechless. I'm so speechless by everyone's generosity tonight. Thank you all so from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. I know that you are making a difference to someone's life out there, to follow their dreams and their passions, which I think is very appropriate considering our topic of conversation today. We're two people that had the luxury of following our passions, and those passions brought us to China. I have one last question for you, Detmar. Are you happy?
I'm absolutely happy.
Good.
Are you happy?
I am so happy. Every day I wake up with a big smile on my face.
Perfect. And I have a last question to you. Yep. When are you coming to China?
As soon as possible, as soon as Australia lets me go, as soon as China lets me come in. At the moment, the Australian borders are very firmly shut, and they only give very few exemptions. If you have a job or if you have pressing medical circumstances, but other than that, if you're going over for tourism or for fun, no chance. But hopefully soon, hopefully next year.
Yeah, when you have the possibility to come, I'll show you around here in Shanghai. We do a lot of fun stuff.
Awesome. Well, maybe I can show you some spots that you don't know, some local spots.
You probably know way more about the city than I do, so looking forward to it.
City. Shanghai changes so quickly. Every time I go to Shanghai, it's different. So probably all the places that I knew when I was studying there 6 years ago are different or have gone. So, well, let's catch up, definitely. When I come to Shanghai, I'm looking forward to seeing your face in person. The
same.
Everyone, before we go, make sure that you're following Detmar on YouTube. His channel link is down below. Is there anything that's coming up for your channel this week? Anything you'd like to plug or anything you'd like to say?
For the coming weeks, I will do actually a lot of food videos because I'm very inspired by you. And I got some Chinese friends that will do a lot of more fun food videos because I really want to get into it. I've been trying to do it by myself, but I think it's boring to just sit by myself and eat. So I need some Shanghainese or Chinese friends. So more food, more exciting stuff. So I would love to see you guys watch those videos, and of course go in. For you guys that watch my live stream, go into Amy's channel and watch because it's so much inspiration. It's so much fun, and you show China in a really, really good way. And I get inspired by watching your YouTube channel, and I live here, so
watch that's so sweet of you. Thank you so much. You made my evening. Such a nice thing to say. Well, yeah, I think we'll end it there. Thank you so much to everyone who's watched, of course, everyone who donated. And yeah, I will see you next weekend for another live stream. And until then, have a great rest of your weekend to you, Detmar, and to everyone who is watching. And stay safe and happy.